Colossians 3:16 says, "Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly, teaching and admonishing one another with all wisdom, singing psalms and hymns and spiritual songs with thankfulness in your heart to God." We can't look at this book and say, "I've learned it in Sunday school." We can't say that I've read through the book. It was 20 years ago, but I've read through the book. We can't think if we don't know Greek or Hebrew, we'll never really understand this book. We can't use the excuse that I'm not a good reader. I can't read this book. We can't even use the excuse that English isn't my first language. Okay, we live in this epoch of time where any one of us, I've got 47 English translations, a few Greek and Hebrew, and a few random ones from all over the world that like I can't really read French, but sometimes it's fun to read it in French. I can't really read Portuguese at all, but it's fun to look at. Um, there is no excuse for you not to not only get the language you can read and understand the best, but also the translation that makes the most sense to you. Now, if you want to talk about translations, I will talk to you, Ed, forever about them because you can trust any single one. I don't like all of them, but I do like a lot of them. And it's generally not somebody sitting down trying to rewrite the Bible. Generally, they are scores of very gifted and talented people who argue over every word to get it what they think is right in every translation. There's a few ones that you can read devotionally, but just don't really. Anyway, I can talk to you about those later. But anyway, the Word of God is this book, the Logos word, the physical book. We need to be in it regularly. I want to say daily. We need to let it read us. What I mean by that is I just go when I'm reading. Psalms are great for this. I just read the Psalms until there's an emotional truth that jumps out at me that's how I'm feeling today. And then I camp out there for a while. Or sometimes if I'm reading through the Gospels, I just read until I've been reading this book since I was 5 years old. Okay? That's late last century, before the internet. I was reading this book. And there's still stuff that jumps out at me that I might have forgotten or I never knew or I've never seen. This is life. You read this book, it comes alive. And if the thing about spiritual things, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. If it's tough, plow through, ask questions, understand it however you can, but keep on keeping on, and it becomes easier. It becomes natural. It becomes your life. It becomes your source. If you want to speak the very words of God, you need to know the very word of God. Not only this, but the person of Jesus, the word. And when he explains the book to you, that's life. Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly.